under pressure. They set up the screen up the middle to Andrasko, and he's got some running room. All the way down to the 22-yard line.
Well-conceived play. Trips to the right, send Lee out in the flat to the left. You draw attention with the formation in Lee, and Andraska slips underneath with a screen pass. Right there he is, trying to get lost in the traffic, and he does get lost, catches the ball, and first down Menomonie.
Boy, they set that up nicely.
Here's the first blue jersey you see there.
Dan Aiken trying to make the stop.
He's very lonely, 5 against 1.
First down for 22, and the handoff looked like Brent Hansen on the handoff. He gets a few yards before being dragged down at about the 17-yard line. Dave Otter on the stop.
It was kind of a fullback slice. He got the ball on the right-hand side and just sliced down the left side of his offensive line. I didn't see anybody pulling there, so just drive blocking, and he got as much yardage as he could.
2:34 to go in the second quarter. Menomonie trying to put another score on the board before halftime. And again, Hansen up the middle.
They've gone to Lee, they've gone to Andraska, they've thrown the ball a little bit, now they're working the fullback inside.
State football finals are brought to you by the Dairy Farm Families of Wisconsin and Milk, the official beverage of the WIAA games. 3rd and 1 at the 14.
Play action fake.
Got a man in the end zone, and Matt Lostad would have made a diving catch. That would have been a great catch if he could have held on.
He also had a fullback underneath in the flat that escaped over there. That's the first guy I thought he was going to go to, but he went for the 6 first.
He had Lostad open, too.
They do a quick shift. Here's the play action fake to Lee. He'll set up. Now you see 45 out in the flat, but he goes right to Lostad. Just overthrows him a little bit.
Big play here, 4th and 1 at the 14, and it goes straight up the middle to Hansen, and he's got the first down.
It's that little fullback slice play again. Start to the right, run to the left.
So with the clock winding down here, 1:48, Menomonie trying to take charge going into the half. Did a nice drive. They mixed it up well, a screen pass, a tight end around. See what they have here. 1st and 10 at the 10.
There's that quick shift again. Play fake again.
Gross looking for Hansen. He's got him at the 5, and pretty good coverage that time by Jason Reeder.
And that's the same play that he overthrew Lostad on, and they just either called it up from the press box or said run it again, but hit the underneath man. Here's the replay on it. You get a freeze action here and a fake to Lee. Half roll to the right. Pretty high percentage pass. Just dumps it to the open man in the flat. They're knocking on touchdown land here.
1:21 to go. Menomonie wants to talk things over, of course. They've still got 2 timeouts left, but the clock a bit of a factor now as we head toward halftime. Both teams have mixed it up pretty well on their drives, on their scoring drives offensively.
Yes, they have. What they want to do ideally is to waste a little bit more time here and culminate it with a score. If they can get it down under 30 seconds so as not to give Germantown any much of an opportunity to score before halftime, you go in with a 2-touchdown lead, and that's pretty sizable against a team like Menomonie.
Germantown controlled the ball offensively in the first quarter, but since the start of the second quarter, it's kind of been the other way in Menomonie now with the edge in total offense, 156 yards to 102 for Germantown. That Menomonie defense has really stiffened up.
Yeah, it has. It made some adjustments, and don't forget that missing fullback from Germantown may be hurting their running attack, too.
Absolutely. Will Cotton, who went down in the first quarter with what looked like an ankle or a knee injury. 2nd and 6. So Morose fakes it, looking into the end zone, got Andrasko, touchdown.
Well, that was a great job by Morose on ball faking. Good handoff. They executed the fake. He just kept it on his hip. He could have ran it in, but he waited for Andraska to clear in the drag route. There's a touchdown.
Well, you understand why he is highly coveted by a lot of Division I schools. He does just about everything.
Nice job by Morose. He bent over and hid the ball away from the Germantown defense, and then Andraska makes a nice athletic play and a pass a little bit behind him.
That was Matt Heuser on the coverage. Couldn't quite keep up with Andrasko, and The extra point is blocked. Nice job by Jason Reeder getting in on that. He almost blocked one earlier and just missed.
They've missed one and blocked one, and last year we were fortunate enough to beat Menomonie, and all 3 of their touchdowns, they missed their extra points, and the final score is 21-20. So those extra points are important, and they've got to be able to convert on them. We've got about 1:14 left. Let's see if Germantown comes out pitching and tries to pick up the score before halftime.
They've really gone to the pass later here in the second quarter, has Germantown, and really haven't had a lot of success with it. And with 1:14, depending on what their field position is, you'd think they're going to have to go to the air again.
Right. They just haven't, and I don't know if it's a defensive adjustment by Menomonie, if they're just playing the run tougher, or if it's the loss of that fullback. It might be a combination of both. But the running attack that got Germantown in the end zone the first quarter is non-existent so far in the second quarter.
Al Hartung will kick it off. Thomas and Gali back to receive. Kicks it to Gali. He has it at the 12-yard line. Looking for some room, but pretty good coverage that time by the Menomonie special teams. That's number 31, Chad Thomas, in on the tackle.
They've squibbed it twice and kicked to Gali twice, so they're trying to keep the ball away from Thomas and being very effective at it.
A 9-play, 49-yard drive that took just over 3 minutes off the clock, capped off by that 6-yard touchdown pass, and Droshko's second touchdown of the day. Germantown with 1:07 to go in the half, taking over on its own 26.
Trips to the left, I formation, fullback trap up the middle.
Aiken is not going to get much, maybe a yard or two. Bryce Anderson make the initial contact.
I tell you what, that Menomonie defensive line is hunkered down and playing real tough right now. They're defeating the blocks at the line of scrimmage and neutralizing that area inside.
And Germantown doesn't look like they're in any hurry to get back into the huddle. Looks like they're just going to be content to let this clock run out here possibly and go into halftime and regroup a little bit. Clock winding down now. As you see, 33 seconds to go. 2nd and 9. And they're just going to keep it on the ground. Come on, Thomas looking for some room. Gets it across to the 30-yard line before he's hit, and penalty marker on the play.
A couple of hankies down, might be a face mask, and it is, against Menomonie.
Looks like Ben Wagner might have gotten a piece at him. He was one of the first guys there.
Indicated rule infraction, face mask.
You can see they've done a nice job coaching the Menomonie kids to swarm to the ball when Thomas has it. They're getting good angles of pursuit. We'll see some of that on the replay here.
To the 46-yard line.
There's Thomas with the trap play, bounces it to the outside. Just slowed up, tripped up enough for the secondary to get over and make the tackle, and there's a face mask. Just pulled his hand away there.
Looked like it might have been Eric Mickelson or possibly Anderson. Croat going to the air, looking
There's
deep
number
for
3 for Lee.
And Lee again just playing center field back there, picks off the interception.
There's just too much airtime. It's not a tight spiral. There's no speed on the ball, and it's just like a wounded duck out there.
And that'll do it. We've played 2 quarters, and Menomonie in charge going into the locker room on top 20-7. We'll return with more WIAA football and halftime activities after these messages from our statewide sponsors.
Since 1897, the name Jostens has stood for excellence, quality, and service in creating products for special achievement and exceptional performance. Jostens is proud of their partnership with Wisconsin high schools in helping preserve the memories of a lifetime. Celebrating a century of craftsmanship and customer service, Jostens continues its commitment to innovation and teamwork. When the occasion is special, rely on Jostens. Jostens, the choice of champions.
I thought I wanted to buy a satellite dish, so I checked them out. Guess what I found? With satellites, you only get one thing on all your TVs. Not a recipe for peace in our family. Then I discovered the hidden costs. Installation, sports, movies, everything's extra. Then there's no local news. There's news from towns where you don't live, but your local news, weather, sports, you'll never know. Hey, check it out for yourself. Satellite TV, make sure you get all the facts.
She may not have mastered the finer points of hedge trimming. And she didn't get the lead in the musical put on by the community playhouse. But around here, she's still a star. You see, she's the local Farm Bureau insurance agent for auto, home, and property protection, and for life insurance that can help protect your family's financial security. Call your Farm Bureau insurance agent today. Living beside you, working for you.
Back at Camp Randall, Germantown struck first in this game, but it's been all Menomonie since early in the second quarter. 3 scores in that second quarter to take control.
Yeah, let me reiterate that. It's just a battle of the quarters with Menomonie dominating the second quarter.
All right, the 1997 state finals telecast is made possible by our statewide sponsors. We're pleased to have the Wisconsin Milk Marketing Board with us again this year. Here's a special report on Wisconsin's most famous product and the people who make it possible.
Another day breaks in America's dairyland. While many are still deep in slumber or only beginning to stir, Wisconsin dairy farmers are already hard at work in their barns, milking parlors, and fields. For dairy farmers, this day, like most others, will involve working long hours, often into the night, to produce the finest quality milk in the world. This dedication, pride, and a commitment to producing quality milk are legacies that have been passed down through generations of Wisconsin dairy farmers. Special legacies that continue to be meaningful today.
Pride mostly is what it comes down to out here. Being able to have control over your animals and raising the crops, making the decisions, running the operation the way you think it should be run. And I think that's one of the advantages of living in this area is we're one of the few places where the family farm is still surviving.
This commitment translates into the production of over 22 billion pounds of fresh, wholesome milk each year, 15% of the nation's total. Wisconsin's dairy farms range from small farms that milk fewer than 30 cows to large operations that manage hundreds or even thousands. Whatever the size of their operations, Wisconsin dairy farmers have important things in common. Respect for quality and tradition, a willingness to work hard, and the skills needed to run a business. And each is a key part of an industry that annually pumps $12 billion into the state's economy, an important fact that impacts all Wisconsinites, as both residents and consumers. Dairying accounts for nearly 60% of Wisconsin's $5 billion in total agricultural product sales. Though the commitment to producing the finest quality milk never wavers, dairy farming in Wisconsin is a dynamic, competitive, and constantly changing industry. New technologies are introduced, and farming and business methods are continually being evaluated and modified in a never-ending pursuit to improve milk quality, efficiency, and give Wisconsin the competitive edge.
We've become the information age, so that we need to take all the information that we can and turn it into knowledge, and that'll give us the edge. So we're focusing a lot here in our business of trying to gather that information the best way as possible. But we want new information. We don't want old information. And we're always looking for a new idea to try.
More than 87% of the milk produced on Wisconsin dairy farms is transformed into the award-winning cheeses that enjoy an unmatched reputation all over the country. In fact, over 30% of the nation's cheese comes from Wisconsin. That's 2 billion pounds of cheese each year. Wisconsin's skilled cheesemakers make that cheese in more than 300 varieties, types, and styles. Wisconsin's butter makers also produce almost a fourth of the butter in the U.S., and Wisconsin's processors lead in the production of processed cheese, cheese foods and spreads, condensed milk, and many milk byproducts. And let's not overlook other familiar dairy products from Wisconsin: sour cream, whipping cream, cottage cheese, ice cream, yogurt, buttermilk, and eggnog. And of course, fresh milk as a refreshing, wholesome beverage. The pride and dedication of Wisconsin's nearly 28,000 dairy farm families results in a unique lifestyle and an important, satisfying job, providing the premium quality milk, cheese, and other dairy products for American consumers from coast to coast. And it all begins right here at daybreak in America's Dairyland.
It's halftime of the Division II State Football Championship game. Menomonie with the upper hand right now by a score of 20-7. Back with more halftime activities after this message from your local cable station. This is the WIAA State Football Network. Bright sunshiny day at Camp Randall Stadium. Menomonie on top, 20-7 at the half. The 1997 state finals telecast is made possible by our statewide sponsors. We're pleased to have M&I Banks of Wisconsin with us again this year, and now bring you this report on a Wisconsin banking tradition.
In business, as in life, history repeats itself. Obviously, the technologies change, the people change, and many of the methods and procedures change. But the one thing that doesn't change is a belief, a commitment. At M&I, we believe in the power of people, serving our customers, our employees, and our community. More than a catchphrase, it's our guiding principle, handed down from our founders, Samuel Marshall and Charles Ilsley.
M&I was founded on the principles of respect for one another, and we're committed to giving respect to employees, customers, and the communities we serve.
To know us is to understand our vision, a statement conceived and written by Samuel Marshall on the day he arrived in Milwaukee in 1847.
I am confident we could build one of the greatest concerns in the Western country.
150 years later, we're doing just that, repeating our successes through our core beliefs.
The M&I's core business philosophy is basically quality and integrity.
Our fundamental beliefs have made Marshall and Ilsley a nationally recognized leader in the financial services community. We're the oldest continually operating bank in Wisconsin. We have the largest retail banking presence in the state. With over 9,000 employees, we've grown to include more than 30 banks with 225 offices and $14.8 billion in assets. We've established trust organizations in Wisconsin, Florida, and Arizona. We own and operate data centers throughout the country and maintain offices in Europe and the Pacific Rim. We're a multi-state bank holding company with a variety of diverse businesses that provide a wide range of quality services to our most valued asset, our customers. M&I's basic principles and corporate philosophy remains unchanged. We provide the utmost in service by forming strong relationships with our customers. These partnerships are the cornerstone on which we were founded and the vision we carry on today.
Our first commitment is to our customers. and we are definitely customer-focused, and we're quality-driven.
Over and over again, we've made significant improvements and innovative firsts that provide convenience to our customers. From the first bank in the state to offer personal checks in 1849 to the first bank to offer ATMs in Wisconsin in 1976, M&I has always been a leader in personalized service that our customers expect and demand. We've redesigned many of our offices to accommodate faster service and easy access to our financial services professionals. We've expanded our supermarket locations, and we offer customers greater access to alternative banking channels through Smart Cash ATMs, telephone banking, and most recently, the Internet. The philosophy is simple: to make banking available wherever and whenever our customers need it.
Germantown of Menomonie talking things over in the locker room. We're back with more halftime activities after this message from your local cable system. This is the WIAA State Football Network. Back at Camp Randall, we're counting down to the start of the second half. The 1997 state finals telecast is made possible by our statewide sponsors. We're pleased to have rural insurance companies with us again this year, representing their agents throughout Wisconsin.
Forming a winning team doesn't happen overnight. It takes hours of planning, training, hard work, and dedication. Goals are set, a strategy is developed, and a game plan is made. A game plan that takes into account what may happen down the road. Preparing for the unexpected. At Rural Insurance, we're constantly thinking about the future. Like any successful team, we too create game plans on how to protect and safeguard what's important for your future. Growing out of our roots in Wisconsin farm communities, Rural Insurance has long supported 4-H and FFA, as well as sponsor the WIAA football, basketball, and hockey championship telecasts. It's also been our privilege to be the sole sponsor of the WIAA Boys and Girls Sportsmanship Awards, honoring the teams, fans, and schools that live up to the idea that it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game. What does all this have to do with insurance? It's just our way of ensuring for a better tomorrow by investing in the youth of today. It's the same concept that started Rural Insurance about 65 years ago. Founded by and for the farmers of Wisconsin, Rural Insurance was formed to protect these farmers' resources, investing in their future when other insurance companies wouldn't. Through the years, Rural has diversified to offer a full line of insurance coverage, becoming just as urban as we are rural. As a Wisconsin company, we're dedicated to serving the needs of Wisconsin families and business owners. Just as we support our local youth organizations, we also believe in supporting local economies. Through our local offices, we're able to provide more personal service to our customers and their communities. By providing local agents, underwriters, claims staff, and more, Rural Insurance is dedicated to bringing personal service home to you. Protecting for the future. That's what insurance coverage is all about. But we also understand that the real value of insurance lies in safeguarding a quality of life for the future. That's why giving back to our Wisconsin communities and supporting our youth comes so naturally. After all, they are the promise of tomorrow, so they deserve our best efforts today. It's as valuable a form of insurance as any policy we write. The Rural Insurance Companies, a Farm Bureau service.
Menomonie on top of Germantown, 20-7. Back with the second half kickoff after these messages from our statewide sponsors.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and happy birthday, Walter. And now, magic. Voila! Empty! Please don't get up. You're too kind. Stay in your chairs.
Got milk.
Ow!
Back at Camp Randall, where Menomonie leads Germantown 20-7, and Ken, Germantown looking pretty good early in this game, and they actually got on the board first with a nice drive, capped off by this Thomas touchdown catch.
Yeah, half roll to the left, and he hits him on a little out route, and speed does the rest. There's no one on the perimeter to help, and he just makes it to the pylon before Lee even touches him.
But after that, the Menomonie defense really took over, and Eric Lee has been spearheading that defense. 3 interceptions already today. One of them led to a Menomonie touchdown, and this is a beautiful connection here on the offensive end. Rose to lost it, a great catch.
Yeah, his line does a nice job of protecting him. You see a perfect spiral just over the outstretched hands of the Germantown defender. Losted pulls it in on the one, and eventually Lee scored from there.
That set up a touchdown run, and little Jason Andrasco using him off the tight end slot. He's already scored 2 touchdowns today.
Right, that was a little fake to the fullback and the tailback, and then he just came almost like an old end around.
And it's a 20-7 lead. As we said, Menomonie has controlled the second quarter. Take a look at those stats and look at the possession time. Initially, Germantown was leading that category, but so far, Menomonie has doubled that going into the half.
Yeah, it's not always how much time you have, but what you do with the time you do have. And lightning struck in a bottle for Germantown a number of times here, precipitated a little bit by those Lee interceptions, but they scored on some big plays, whereas Germantown had to grind it down the field to score theirs.
You saw Phil Datka there on the sidelines. He knows his team has some work to do, and Germantown getting set for this second half kickoff. And remember, Menomonie deferred, so they got the ball back in the second half, and Germantown tries the onside kick, and let's see who got it. Jerry Starner with a nice onside kick, but let's see if Menomonie was there. Menomonie was there to recover the football. So Germantown trying something early here, maybe trying to get a little momentum going.
Well, you got to be careful not to try to get it all back at once. What you want to do is on your first or second possession, you're going to have to get a score here, and then just keep it touchdown, and then a big play or a turnover will put you back in the ball game. But it's not time to panic yet.
So the Menomonie offense, which really started clicking in the second quarter, takes over on the 44-yard line. Gross going to the air. Looking to the flat, had a receiver out there, but Jeff Culhane couldn't hang on.
Culhane went in motion all the way across the formation and slipped out in the flat and just had trouble handling the football. The throw was there. Morose has been pretty accurate. They haven't always pulled it in, but he's been right on target.
And Morose threw the ball 7 times in that first half, completed 4 of them for 59 yards. 2nd and 10 from the 44.
I left.
Rowe's going to try and throw it again. Looks like he's setting up the screen to Lee and just overshot him.
Not very well executed. Everybody looked like they were in a hurry to get there, and they drew the Germantown defense over there. Aiken was there sniffing it out.
Never really did develop, did it?
No, it didn't. They also ran it back to the short side, which gives you less field to work in.
So it'll bring up a 3rd and 10 situation. We're just underway here in this Division II championship game, Germantown against Menomonie. Hanson and Lee in the backfield. Gross on the draw to Lee, and it's maybe 4 or 5 yards before he's stacked up by a host of Germantown players. Ray Featon there, along with several other Germantown players. So it looks like the Warhawks are going to get the football back here. Well, this might be, they're in that area where you said Menomonie has tried a few things on special teams.
Yeah, they've been known to run some trick plays on their punt teams.
Thomas back to receive the punt along with Aiken, and Aiken has it at the 22-yard line. He called for a fair catch, so that's where Germantown will take over. And we'll step aside for a minute. Back with more football after this message from your local cable system. This is the WIAA State Football Network. Back at Camp Randall, Germantown takes over on its own 24-yard line. Thomas looking for some room, and he is going nowhere. Ned Welch, great penetration to make the stop.
Welch has done a nice job all day of cutting that perimeter and getting upfield. Here we have it on the replay. They're just having a tough time getting to him.
And we talked about this earlier. Thomas with that great blinding speed, but if you don't let him get going, it's tough to get the yardage.
Aiken just couldn't get out there to block him.
Loss of 3 on the play. It brings up 2nd and 13. The pitch to Thomas this time. Tries to get some running room. Maybe gets back to the initial line of scrimmage.
That time, number 9, Noah Brenner came in to take away the pitch option. They really got that option covered right now on the perimeter, and they're doing an excellent job of getting people upfield, turning the play in.
So it brings up a 3rd and long situation. Germantown hasn't had a whole lot of luck through the air. Croat, as we said, passed for 1,100 yards during the season, but kind of a tough first half for him.
He's got 4 completions to his people and 3 to the Menomonie people.
3rd and 10 from the 24. Croat looking for a man, and the ball tipped away. I believe Eric Lee again on the coverage. He's been everywhere.
They tried a quick slant to the inside, man, and Lee was there again. You'll see it on the replay here. He almost gets picked number 4. Just a half ride, 1-2 stop. There's the ball down the alley, and watch Mr. Lee coming over.
Actually, he had a man. He had Jason Reeder. If the ball was thrown on target, that might have been a completion. The Croat trouble handling the snap. He gets away a high punt. Lee calls for the fair catch, and Menomonie gets the ball on the 47-yard line. 22-yard punt by Ben Croat. We're going to take a break. Be back with more football after these messages from our statewide sponsors.
When the occasion is special and the performance exceptional, Jostens is the name to remember. For 100 has meant quality, craftsmanship, and customer service in preserving the memories of a lifetime. Jostens is proud of their partnership with Wisconsin high schools and remains committed to innovation and leadership. The name to trust is Jostens, the choice of champions.
I thought I wanted to buy a satellite dish, but I checked. I realized there are things they don't tell you, like you only get one program on all your TVs.
Honey, my movie's starting.
Dad, my favorite program's on.
Intense concentration on his face.
What about my show?
Don't take my word for it. Find out yourself. You'll also find there are hidden costs and no local news. Satellite TV, make sure you get all the facts.
Hey, look at some of the fans here at Camp Randall. A pretty good turnout here for this Division II championship game, and Menominee's going to take over on the 47-yard line. Another quick snap, and Eric Lee on the left side, following a block and gets all the way down to the 27-yard line. Just rode the block of Brett Merriweather and got good yardage.
They caught him napping. They caught him napping again, Jeff. They came on an unbalanced line to the left. They had about 6 people over there, and there's quick pitch the ball to Lee, and he just kept running to the outside where all his people were. Finally watch him bounce it out here and get an additional 10 yards.
Well, Merriweather took care of a couple of Germantown defenders there.
He's having a heck of a game today. We talked about Schofield, but Merriweather is doing an excellent job of blocking today.
Again, this Menomonie offensive line, all seniors. They played last year as juniors and took their lumps, but they've been a great year for them so far. And there's the inside handoff to the fullback, Brett Hansen.
Straight dive play off the right tackle.
Give him a couple of yards, but that's... Keep the ball moving down to the 25-yard line. 2nd and 7. 9 minutes to go in the third quarter.
It's a little early to predict gloom and doom here, but if Menomonie punches one in on this drive, it's going to be a tough road to hold for Germantown.
That's the way that defense has been playing for the evening. There's that tight end around again, Andrasko. And this time the Germantown team sniffs it out pretty well. Dan Aiken with the initial contact.
Aiken did a nice job of scraping on and turning the play, and I think Andrasko slipped a little on the cut.
We mentioned this Menomonie team. It is a team that is rich, very rich in state football tradition. They were state champions in both 93 and 95. Getting to Camp Randall is almost commonplace for them. This is Lee on the pitch, looking for some room on the right side. Gets a block from Hansen all the way down to the 18-yard line.
I think he got a first down on that too, Jeff.
Hansen has done a nice job today, Ken, of making some of those blocks at the fullback position.
Yes, he has. Here he comes on the lead again. He'll seal the perimeter, and you see him grabbing his jersey there. Lee just follows him, and then when he makes contact on his block, just steps it to the outside, gets an additional couple of yards. They're getting a lot of people out there in a hurry, and that's what you have to do when you toss sweep.
Winding down to 8 minutes in the third. A quick count. The pitch to Lee on the left side. And he hit hard there. It looked like Matt Heuser was the man to make the initial contact. Good individual effort by Heuser.
Good defense by the corner, came up hard. Once again, they were in that unbalanced with a twin set over here, so you got a lot of people, and they just try to get the ball out as quick as they can and get them behind all those bodies and get them upfield.
This is really a big possession here, and important time for the Germantown defense. They really need a stop here if they want to stay in this game. 2nd and 8, ball on the 16-yard line.
It's their passing formation. Let's see what happens here.
Play action. Morose looking for a man. Threw it out in the flat there to number 40, Chris Garnsworthy.
That's the third time they ran that formation. First time to Lawstead, just missed. Second time to the underman, and this time Germantown made some adjustments, had it covered much better.
Well, here's a key play, 3rd down and 8. And Menomonie wants to talk things over. On top 20-7, and we'll step aside for a minute. Back with more football after these messages from our statewide sponsors.
The coach's cliche. They range from motivational to inspirational to downright confusing. But no matter what the sport, what season, or what the outcome, these athletes show us what it means to be champions. At the Rural Insurance Companies, we're proud to sponsor the WIAA Sportsmanship Awards. After all, it's the one honor that embodies the granddaddy of all locker room truisms.
Mike Proctor is a student at Buckley University, and he's about to become the subject of a remarkable experiment. He will live inside this small chamber, cut off from all human contact, alone.
Yo, get a little milk in here.
For the next 30 days.
Oh, no, I didn't sign on for this. Guys, I got tons of cereal. I want some milk.
Fascinating.
Pretty please.
Got milk?
You see the time, 7:15 to go in the third quarter, a 3rd and 8 for Menomonie on the 16-yard line of Germantown. Rose looking to pass, set up the inside screen, and he's looking for Eric Lee, but just couldn't find him.
Yeah, Lee was there. He got tremendous pressure and penetration by number 78 of Germantown. Just got in his face and forced him to throw it early. You see it on the replay here.
That's Dave Otter coming in, giving the pressure.
He's got about a 7-step drop. Looking for Lee now, and there's Otter coming in there, and Lee just never got inside to get the ball. Rose hurried his throw a little bit.
So on a 4th down, Menomonie lines up for the apparent field goal. This will be a 33-yarder by Al Hartung and blocked. Looked like Reeder got in there again and got his hand on it. Jason Reeder, who blocked an extra point earlier. So that's a big stop for Germantown. They really needed to keep some points off the board to stay in this game.
They didn't dodge a bullet. They dodged a rocket there. Here's the replay. They're going to get penetration from their defensive left side of the line. And there's Reeder with the tip, coming hard off the corner.
And he just came off the corner hard when he blocked that extra point, too. Just lines up and races to the ball.
Let's see if Germantown gets some breathing room.
Take over on their own 16-yard line. Croak looking in the air, looking for Golly, and goes through his hands, but there's a penalty on the play.
So flag thrown downfield, perhaps pass interference. There's a misconception here. A lot of people think that you can bump and run in high school. You cannot touch that man at all. Only if he's a blocker, that's the only time you can engage in him. So if you're going downfield in a route, you cannot be handled. But it's against Germantown.
Well, that'll push Germantown back even farther into their own territory then if Menomonie accepts the penalty.
I think they're going to decline it. Gilda down. Perhaps an ineligible receiver downfield. I think that was the call.
No, it'll be 2nd and 10. Gary Coble is now into the game, split out to the right side as a receiver. And he goes straight up the middle to Thomas. Fights his way for about 5 yards. Noah Brenner there on the stop.
This time they lined him up at a one-back, ran an inside trap, and he got himself for about 4 or 5 yards.
So a big 3rd down play now, 3rd and 5 for Germantown, who really hasn't been able to get much going offensively since the 2nd quarter against this Menomonie defense. Thomas lines up as a lone setback in the backfield. That's Reeder in motion. Croak keeps it and looks like he just got the 1st down.
That time they put a man in motion across the field to the right and ran the speed option to the left. Kind of a counterplay back to the weak side. Here's the replay. He'll come down the line of scrimmage. They force him the pitch. He's got Thomas there to bail him out, but he keeps it. Runs hard and works his way up for the 1st down.
You see Thomas in the background. He knows how big that 1st down is to keep this drive alive. 1st and 10 from the 26.
Double slot again.
Croak with Reeder in motion, rolls to his right, looking deep. He's got Reeder wide open, and he's got it at the 40.
That It wasn't the prettiest pass in the world, but it got the job done, and they must have tied Lee up. He must have read something over on the right side because he was a little late getting over there, and there was plenty of time to get there. Reeder, their number 1 pass receiver.
There he is in motion.
Little half roll by Croat. Gets a great block on Wayne. Sets up, throws the ball. Big play, just what they needed.
You saw Lee at the end of that play, just kind of late getting over there.
Yeah, he must be reading something else because usually he's pretty alert to that, as attested by his 3 interceptions already.
Oh, a big play for Germantown, gets them into Menomonie territory. 1st and 10 at the 37. Leader comes in motion again. Croat to the air, pressure, and he's going to be dropped. Looked like it was Heath Heitkamp who came in with the pressure. Check that. It looked like Matt Wayne, the left end, coming in.
There's a little mismatch there. In the replay, you'll see it. You're asking a 140-pound guy to block a 235-pound guy, and it doesn't work. There's Thomas who goes down, but it's like throwing ping pong ball at a semi-truck. It just doesn't do much.
Matt Wayne, Joe Labuda says, the strongest player on the team. He's a big kid, as you said, 6'2", 232. Quiet kid, but made a lot of noise with that sack.
The way they're smoking in there, I'd like to see maybe Germantown try a screen or perhaps a draw.
2nd and 18, ball back at the 45. Croat to the arrow once again. The pressure by Brenner, and the ball almost picked off.
That was an inside screen, bringing Reeder back in underneath, but like you said, too much pressure.
Jeff Schlosser came very close to getting his hands on that football for Menomonie.
And Noah Brenner was in there again with a hard rush.
You look at that Menomonie defense, 37 quarterback sacks. That's not too shabby for that defense.
No, it isn't.
Well, big 3rd and 18 play now.
27 turnovers on the season, too.
Golly goes to the left. Thomas in the backfield. And now I believe Germantown wants to talk things over. Not quite comfortable with that set that they were in.
There's not too many plays you can really rely on 3rd and 18. Everybody knows you're going to have to do something to get a big chunk of yardage.
The state football finals are brought to you by Jostens, the choice of champions, celebrating 100 years of memories. You got to figure that this is 2 down territory for them at this point in the game, too, Ken. If they can get a chunk of that 18 yards back and then at least get themselves in position on 4th down.
Right. They can attempt to do that, too. What he's probably trying to figure out now is what's the best play, what do you feel confident and what do you feel safe with here. If they're going to go for a 2 down, let's get something for about 7-8 yards, cut that in half, and then we'll pick up the rest on a 4th down attempt.
This Menomonie defense came into the game averaging holding the opponents to just 6 points a game. And Joe Labuda said he was concerned mainly about stopping Germantown's big play. And, so far outside of that long pass, Germantown hasn't had a whole lot of big plays. They haven't ripped off any long ones.
You're right. They've achieved their defensive objectives so far to keep Thomas somewhat contained. He's got a couple 5-6 yarders, but he hasn't broken out for anything.
3rd and 18 from the 45. Aiken the lone setback. Croat back to pass, looking across the middle. He had Reeder, but he just couldn't hold on. Jeff Schlosser was right there with the coverage.
Nice defensive play. Excuse me, Jeff. He was running with him all the way, got his hand in there, and deflected the ball right at the end.
Well, it brings down a 4th and 18, and looks like Germantown, of course, goes into punt formation, but remember, Ben Croat, the punter, is also the team's quarterback. Lee and Mickelson, back deep. Croat punts it away. Lee calling for the fair catch. And Menomonie will take over on the 17-yard line. 28-yard putt by Ben Croat. 4:32 left to go in the 3rd quarter, so Menomonie defense bends but doesn't break here.
Yeah, they're in the driver's seat right now. You can see their confidence growing as the game goes on. Germantown's got to pick up a score here in one of their next 1 or 2 possessions to get back in this thing. They're down by 2 touchdowns, 13 points. Power eye to the left from Menomonie. Little counterplay back to the weak side.
Throws to Lee, breaks a tackle, but then runs out of room and slides his way for a couple of yards. Matt Heuser there for the tackle.
Did a heck of a job just to get those 2 yards.
Aiken also on the stop.
Seems like there's been a little lull here after Germantown stiffened down there deep in their own territory. Menomonie now is looks a little content just to play the way the game is at this point.
This Menomonie offense averaging 40 points a game during the season. 2nd and 8. Morose back to pass, looking for Lee, and really just threw the ball away. Pretty good coverage there that time by David Holzbauer.
Yeah, he picked Lee up coming out of the backfield and ran with him step for step and forced Moreau to make an adjustment. Good play by Morose, just throwing it out of bounds.
Yeah, this is the kind of, if you're Menomonie right now and you're Joe Labuda saying, guys, don't do anything stupid, no mistakes, don't turn the ball over, and we're going to be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, 2 of those interceptions from Lee led to touchdowns, so the old saying is more games are lost than won. If you just hang in there, somebody's going to make a mistake, and then you have to take advantage of that mistake.
3rd and 7 from the 20. Morose back to pass, setting up the screen to Lee, and the ball picked off by Reeder. Jason Reeder down to the 16-yard line, and just as we talk about trying to avoid the turnover, Germantown makes something happen.
Yeah, that's the second time they ran that play. The timing is just not there, and we'll see it on a replay. They're hurrying it a little bit. Morose looks like he's getting adequate time to set up, but for some reason, his throw is a little hard, and it's just behind or just in front of Lee, and he kind of tips it. And there's Reeder, Johnny, on the spot picking off the ball.
So a big chance for Germantown to get back in it now. They have the ball on the 16-yard line of Menomonie. 3:41 to go in the 3rd. Reeder in motion. Croat keeps it, and he is going nowhere. What a great play by the linebacker, Jeff Schlosser.
He's really picked it up this half. He's made some big plays for him. Pass deflections and tackles. There they ran that weak side counter option again. They put a man in motion and come back to this side. Now you'll see number 8. He's supposed to come down and pick off Schlosser, but he's too late getting there, and Schlosser just kisses Croat right on the line.
Schlosser, an excellent athlete. He runs a 4.640. That accounts for a lot of that speed getting to the ball carrier. 2nd and 13. Ball at a 19-yard line. Thomas is split out to the right side. Croat under pressure, gets the ball away, looking for Eric Schaefer. He had him out there, but he got a lot of pressure again.
Yeah, he did. It was just a little bit behind him. If he throws it out towards the sideline a little bit more, they might have a touchdown. We can try to pick that up on a replay again. Just this little 1-2 step. He looks him off, pumps once, and then throws. Ooh.
Actually had him out there.
Right. Looked like he didn't get his hands up on that. He had his right hand up, but his left hand never got up to cradle the ball.
Pretty good throw by Croat, considering the pressure that he was under. So now 3rd and 13 at the 19. Looking for Thomas, and he overthrows him on the right side.
It's going to be a shame if Germantown can't convert with this turnover.
Jimmy Ferguson on the coverage, but that ball just overthrown. I think even if that's a complete pass, didn't look like there was much there, Ken.
No, they had some people out there. He would have had to put on a few moves and shake some people to get anything out of it.
So Germantown lines up for the field goal. Starner will apparently attempt a 37-yard field goal. And is it long enough? It's not. It's short. So disappointing for Germantown. They get the big turnover, and they come away empty. A nice job of that Menomonie defense of holding the Warhawks.
And that's another confidence booster for Menomonie. They get a turnover on the interception, and yet Germantown can't punch it in.
Phil Dadka on the sideline wondering what he can do offensively to get something generated. He hasn't been able to do much here in the second half.
It looks like Germantown is all but abandoned the run. Everything is throwing the ball now. It looks like he wants to get a quick score, and they may connect at him, but right now the percentages aren't very good with him throwing the football.
Menomonie takes over on his 20-yard line. And a handoff up the middle. It looked like that might have been in Drashko. I checked that, Hansen. At about 4 or 5.
Now what they'd like to do if you're Menomonie is just mount a drive to eat up about 6-7 minutes control the football. If you can culminate with a score, that's great. If not, at least bury it deep in Germantown territory and let them fight their way out.
2:17 to go in the third quarter. The pitch to Lee on the right side, looking for a couple of blocks. He gets him, breaks away to the 40, to the 50-yard line before finally being dragged down by Dan Aiken.
That's their power eye toss sweep. Two tights to the right again. They've really been successful with that play all day. He just bides his time till he sees the hole, or he jumps in one. Now he'll cut it out to the outside.
Another nice block by Brock Merriweather to spring him.
And Aiken, an inside linebacker, hustling downfield, makes a tackle.
All the way up to the 49-yard line. Inside handoff to Hansen, and that time, nothing doing.
They had a blitz on. One of the linebackers shot the gap and jumped right into the arms of
Matt Brzezinski
Hansen.
there, shooting the gap, and Dave Otter with the tackle.
Essentially no gain.
So it's 2nd and 10. Menomonie quickly up to the line of scrimmage again. The pitch to Lee, and tries to reverse his field, and nothing doing. The entire Germantown team is there. Heuser with the initial contact.
Germantown did a great job responding to the toss that time. A lot of people out in a hurry. Played off the blocks. We'll see it on the replay. You had people coming underneath.
3rd and 16. Ball just inside the 43-yard
Lee
line.
trying to make something out of really nothing and got himself into trouble.
Just too many bodies there and nobody to block for him.
So 3rd and 17 on the 42-yard line. Lost it in motion. The draw to Lee, breaks a tackle, but can't break the second contact by Mike Bush. Nice individual tackle by Bush, and that's well short of the first down.
Yeah, that's a delayed trap. There's draw action in the backfield, but they're going to bring their left guard across and trap the Germantown's right tackle, and then Lee just tucks in behind it.
4th and 9.
So Germantown looking to get the ball back. Wagner in punt formation. Beautiful punt. Oh, and that might... Oh, what a great punt
What a
by
roll.
Wagner. The ball
What a roll.
rolls out of bounds at the 2-yard line. 48-yard punt knocked out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
It hit and curved back in. Unbelievable.
Well, Germantown start way back deep in its own territory, and boy, what a bonus when you can get a punt like that.
Here's the punt again on the replay. Takes his time getting it off. Once it lands, I thought it was going to roll in the end zone. Instead, it takes a funny bounce and starts to swerve almost perhaps out of bounds, and then it just kind of freezes up right there.
All on the 2-yard line. We wind down here in the third quarter.
Safety.
Oh boy, and did he get out? Well, they're going to mark it that he just got to the 40-yard line. Aiken just barely got out of the end zone. And we played 3 quarters with Menomonie still on top by a score of 20-7. Back with the 4th quarter after this message from your local cable system. This is the WIAA State Football Network. 1 quarter to go here in this Division II state championship game, and Germantown back about as far as it can go here. The ball on about the 1 foot line. They were lucky not to get a safety on that last play. Croat, the quarterback. And he's going to go to the air. Just over the outstretched hands. He was going for, and it looked like Reeder out there. Here's that play before that. They came so very close to being a safety.
It's a little fullback trap, and he pops him in
Bryce
the back.
Anderson.
Ooh, he got a great spot by the official on that.
Bryce Anderson made that initial contact very, very close to being a safety, and now it's 3rd down and 11. Dangerous territory here. Croat trying to go deep, and the ball almost picked off again by Lee. Lee almost had his 4th interception of the game.
I tell you, he really breaks well to the football. Very quick, very active, gets a nice read, and just flies to the ball. You're going to see it on the replay again. He's a free safety right in the middle of the field. I think what he's simply doing is reading Croat. The minute he opens his shoulders to that side, he takes off like a bat.
Now, Croat, not a whole lot of room to punt this football. Let's see if Menomonie tries to go after it or if they'll try and set up a return. Either way, they should get the ball with great field position here. Croat gets off the punt, and Lee has it at the 32. Penalty marker down. He's down at the 24-yard line after that 33-yard punt. Jason Belke with the tackle, but let's see what the flag is. Usually on a return like that, it goes the other way against Menomonie.
You know, if he would have stayed horizontal a little more and run to the sidelines, I think he might have been able to turn the corner, and there was no one over there.
All right, we're going to take a break. 11:37 to go in the 4th quarter. We're going to pause for this message from your local cable system. This is the WIAA State Football Network. $11:37 to go in the 4th quarter. Menomonie on top of Germantown. The Indians really looking for that one more score to kind of put this game away, but they haven't been able to put away the Warhawks yet. Another quick count, and Hansen with lots of running room all the way down to the 37-yard line.
It's a little fullback slice again. He lines up on one side and just brings it across to the other side. It's straight drive blocking and a straight dive play. It's about time for a trick play. They haven't thrown anything at him, and they got a massive substitution. Let's watch for something.
And Drashko coming out of the game. 2nd and 2 from the 36. And they go straight up the middle once again. And, well, they're just running it straight up the gut. That actually was Jason Andrasko who ran the ball straight up the middle.
Yeah, he was the up back in that power formation. Straight dive, and he just hit a seam and got it upfield.
State Football Finals brought to you by the Rural Insurance Companies, providing a full line of insurance products for Wisconsin's families and businesses.
They're doing 2 or 3 substitutions at a time here.
Morose to Andrasko again, and he gets about 6 or 7 yards.
I think, Jeff, that was Hansen on that.
Check that, you're right.
45